All of this week, and especially today, the stock market has been reacting to announcements that infections of the coronavirus have landed in the U.S. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion on where I think the stock market may be headed from here on out, coming up. What's going on, everybody? Yes, so the stock market has been reacting slightly, and I will say slightly, to the fact that there have been confirmed reports that people that were infected with the coronavirus have been in the U.S. and in other countries other than China. But I'm going to give you my opinion on where I think the stock market could be headed from here, what you should be considering as far as investments are concerned, and all that stuff coming up. But first, I want to welcome you to my channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. Well, no better time than to say it, but the stock market is a crazy and chaotic place, and I've made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to learn more about how to trade in the stock market and what to watch out for during times like these, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell so you get notified every time I put a video up. And if you get something out of this video, I certainly would appreciate a good old thumbs up. Okay, so on to today's topic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the facts, I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are on how this might affect the economy or the stock market overall. I really want to hear your thoughts as well. So make sure that you're leaving them down in the comments as I respond to every single one of them that you put down there. I love responding to all of them. All right, so what is the coronavirus? The coronavirus is a virus which originated from seafood market in Wuhan, China. It was first identified in mid-December. The same family as SARS, if you're familiar with the SARS, it attacks the respiratory system. It really is a nasty disease. As of this recording, China has confirmed that there are 830 active cases right now, and there have been cases that were confirmed in South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, US, and there have been 26 confirmed deaths as a result of the coronavirus. Now, I do want to stop here and just let everybody know that the deaths that did occur from the coronavirus up to this point, while tragic, were also from people who were immunosuppressed. So people who were between 65 and 80 years old. I think there was a case of an 88-year-old as well. And then also people who were immunosuppressed as far as having other health issues. One person, I believe, had a lung issue, and then somebody else was diabetic. So these were deaths that, yes, while tragic, these are people that were already susceptible to succumbing to something like this. As of right now, I haven't seen any reports on whether or not this actually has impacted or there have been any victims that were fully healthy. Just to kind of hit this home a little bit further, the WHO determined that it is not a global threat right now, but only a mainland China emergency. Since this has been announced, the market has reacted somewhat, but it just kind of really keeps chugging along. You know, yesterday ended up being a good day, and really what I want to do at this point is just kind of show you how the stock market has reacted in other times of these, to kind of give you a little bit of perspective and maybe peace of mind on what we might be expecting. Now, most of you who are watching this may or may not remember this, but I remember the bird flu epidemic that happened in China. Everybody was losing their mind in 1997 and thought that this was the end of the world. Nobody was going to be able to overcome the avian flu, but in fact, they did in 1997. There was actually a more impactful Asian flu and Hong Kong flu that are related to this particular virus, but vaccines were created, drugs were administered, and for the most part, everybody turned out okay. Okay, so what I'm pulling up here is the chart from 1997. So if we go all the way back to January 1st of 1997 and then bring it all the way 12 months later, you can see the stock market just really did not care. I'm sure there was a week or two within 1997 when this was at its height that people were kind of flipping out on, but as you can see, 97 was a great year. Now, having said all that, it was during the dot-com bubble, so I don't know if there was anything that was stopping that freight train in 1997, but nevertheless, this type of event was really unimpactful to the stock market overall. Now, the next example that I want to give you comes from the year of 2009. Now, if you recall, in 2008, the economy collapsed, the real estate market collapsed, but in 2009, we were faced with the swine flu, or H1N1, as it's famously known as. In 2009, it was first discovered in Mexico. Now, this was the first time that the WHO declared an international emergency, the first time ever that happened. Over 200 million people were infected, 150,000 people died, which calculate that up, it's about 0.3 0.03% or so actually faced a death. Now, the H1N1 or swine flu was so serious that for the first time ever, the WHO issued a worldwide emergency as a result of this epidemic. Up to 200 people were infected. 150,000 people actually ended up dying or succumbing to this flu, which is very tragic. But let's see how 2009 reacted to this issue. Okay, so here I'm showing you here in 2009. This is January 2009. This is really kind of the bottom of the economic collapse that happened in 2008. And then you can see all of 2009, it did rather well. You go all the way to January of 2010. This is actually a really good year. So as you can see in 2008, the stock market could not survive the real estate collapse and the economic collapse that we experienced in that recession. But the swine flu was no match for the stock market in 2009. Okay, so now that I've given you the facts, here's my opinion. Now, while these events in our history, as far as these diseases are concerned, are tragic and people did lose their lives as a result of these types of diseases, it's not quite as impactful as something like the seasonal flu or the regular flu that we experience every season, especially in the wintertime. So up to 1 billion people are impacted by the seasonal flu. They are infected by it. And then anywhere between 250 and 500,000 people actually lose their lives to the seasonal flu. Now, when you compare it to these rare diseases, it doesn't seem like it's quite as impactful as the actual influenza. Now, as far as how this might impact your investing or day trading, what I will say is this: just sit on your hands and wait for the stock market to figure out what it wants to do. Lots of times it's just very, very choppy during periods like this, and then you want to wait for some sort of settling out to occur. Buy on some dips if you're investing in some stuff, because this isn't going to be nearly as impactful as any kind of real economic collapse or, times of war, that sort of thing. When there's instability in certain areas of the world, lots of times you will see that gold or precious metals are doing quite well. And so those might be areas that you may want to turn to maybe invest or day trade in. Now, as you can see here, this is the 5-minute chart on gold, and you can see that gold has just been taking off, just to kind of put proof to the pudding, if you will. And you can see right now, actually gold looks like it might be flagging here. Looks like GLD here could be making another move back up, and we'll look to see if it can make a new high up above 148. And how I would treat this is just to not panic. Don't let emotions get into your way, and really just kind of sit back, observe, and wait for your time to make an entry on whatever stock that you're looking to trade. And really, as far as your investments are concerned, I wouldn't panic too much about that either. If you're looking to add to your investments, this probably may end up being a good opportunity for that. Now, obviously, this situation is very fluid as it is very new, so things might change. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this is for sure not going to happen. There's really nothing to worry about, because when you see something like this, there is always cause for concern. But at the end of the day, if you compare it to what's happened over time and over in history of where we've been as far as this type of situation is concerned, I really don't think that there's any really real reason to panic, at least just yet. But I do really want to hear from you, so leave some comments down below. As I said before, I do respond to all of the comments, unless for some reason this happens to go crazy viral, which I don't think it will, but I will respond to all of the comments. I really do want to hear from you. But that's going to do it for me, guys. If you learned something from this video or took something away from it, I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up for some additional support, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you have not done so already. I certainly would appreciate it. And as always, guys, I will see you all before the bell, and B Smith is out. On Friday, I told you that this petition against Tesla just didn't feel right. It felt fishy, and sure enough, it was. I got a ton of stuff to be talking to you about Tesla today and where my thoughts are on where it's going from here.